What's up, guys? All right, so I'm gonna just try to make a couple quick videos and keep putting them out. But this is one that I'm gonna be probably trying to watch on Monday. Just gonna keep an eye on it. I'm not gonna go full in like, oh, I gotta get this trade right. I just want to see how price reacts. I have a few levels marked here. This is something that is up like 2,400%, right, from the lows of 2019. So you might be thinking, why are we going in on this? But the trend has been up, and until the trend has changed, the trend's got to be our friend, right? So this is possible. This could continue up, but it's possible that eventually you find a topping point. So one thing that I like to see is that we could see that on the weekly, we had candle bodies that closed at pretty much 17.80, and then we would reject and come down to about $9. And this is a nice, like, pretty much $10 range right there, or so $8 range. And eventually, we found the momentum to break up, and currently price is curling back down here. We have somewhat of a symmetrical triangle based off of these previous wicks here, and you can see that price is above this previous box. So is this flipping into new support? That's something I'm trying to keep an eye out and watch. Now, I have a few yellow lines here. I know it looks a little sloppy, but what I'm looking for the yellow lines is our weekly and daily candle body closes. So we can see that the candle bodies pretty much struggled to get above this 2250, and then when we were coming to the downside, weekly candle bodies struggled to close below 1960. So right now, our big candle body range, not including these wicks, that these are stop out wicks, right? These are easy to get out of your trade, but these candle body wicks between 1960 and 2250 has been our weekly trend, or channel. So on a daily time frame, I have another level here at 2040. This is the one that's marked for me because I'm doing potentially day or a couple day swing trades here. So would I take this up from 2040 breakout and then be cautious at this 2250 area? Yes, that's most likely kind of the plan, but with the idea that, hey, this is our third touch point now on this support. 1, 2, 3. And then we had 3 touch points on the upper resistance. 1, 2, 3. So what happens on the fourth touch? Usually you get a break to the upside on the fourth touch. And if you get rejection, then the same goes with the downside. Usually the fourth touch ends up being a breakdown. So as we're bouncing off the lows here, this might be a decent trade to take a look at. Now on the dailies here, we have our wick high to roughly 2040, and then we have our bodies right here at $20.04 right here. Boom and boom. You can see daily close, 2040, 2004, 2004. So that's going to be something to very much keep an eye on. So that doesn't give us a much range, right? From 2004 to 2040. Those are the areas we're going to have to keep an eye on before moving up. Now, if we go down to an hourly, we can see that this made a nice double bottom pattern right here. And that's kind of where my green box range is, but I might want to move it because this might have been done off of, say, a 5-minute time frame. So this is something to definitely watch, would be this range, pretty much this range right, I'm going to call it right there, okay? Because we had, and the reason I'm going there is because, look, this had a nice wick up. I mean, these were some wicks too, so anywhere in there. But this was the nice wick up, and that's also that 2004 area we were talking about on the daily. And then we had our fall down, and then we had our double bottom breakout. So this is going to be an area of support, and currently price is at that 2040. This was a key area that we are watching, and we still want to continue to watch. But if we can somehow manage to get a candle to close, you can see this hourly candle, we tried to close there, we failed to close. Over here, this was like some previous price action. When we finally closed below, that signaled our drop, and we had a wick up here to retest. So same with this, we had a wick up here to test 2066 roughly. So that might be something to watch as well on smaller time frames. But currently, this has made a pretty nice move here from Friday. Is this Friday? Thursday into Friday. Oh, no, Friday was the start of the run. So does this have to cool down now and come back and fall into this box and potentially retest? Or is this going to just break the freak out and start consolidating here and then have a nice move up and start its rally up to that 2250. This is something that I'm going to be watching on Monday. And as you can see on this 5-minute time frame that I'm watching right here, this was the box range of previous resistance, and it flagged, it ripped, it somewhat confirmed or started to make a little bit of a flagging pattern at this previous wick spot, and then it ripped up, and now it's doing a little bit of this flagging pattern at this previous resistance point. So if this does end up deciding like, hey, I'm going to poke my head up here, and then it falls back in, hey, I'm going to poke my head up here, falls back in, and then it just can't find this consolidation style up on top of this yellow line here, then that might say like, hey, we have to be looking to buy some, lower prices. And if we were going to look for some lower prices, where would we want to look? Well, for me, I would first be looking at that 2004, because that was a critical level on the daily and the weekly time frames. But we also had some potential support here at this 1986. So in this box is an area to watch closely for support and potentially buy for the next leg zone up, if this does happen. Now, if we just open up and prices up here in the 2060s on Monday morning, then I'm not going to just come in and be like, yes, we're above, let's buy. I'm going to watch price, and I want to see it fall, maybe make a bounce off of here, maybe come back down, make another bounce. And if that's the case, that might say, all right, it's time to almost take a trade on this. But if we open up and we're, down here, then we're going to have to keep an eye on getting back above this resistance and doing this similar thing. So that's kind of where I'm at. I know it's hard to like talk about it on here versus like price be moving right now, and we can watch and see how it's working. But currently we have candle bodies on the 5 that been closing at 2035 and pretty much just staying below. So until we can start getting above that, and then also wicks that are coming down to 2030. So it's pretty much a range here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 15 minutes, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last hour was resistance at 2038, roughly. So that's going to be a key level to potentially try to flip to support for a nice breakout trade. That'll be something that I'll be watching. And like I said, my overall target would be that 2250, that I would be like a little bit nervous and concerned of potentially getting a big, strong rejection off of. But until then, we can look at what could be some areas to look at. Say this thing does decide to break out. Well, we can definitely see that if we were to take a fib from this move here, right, we had this double bottom and then a rip, then the first area to watch, if we were to break above this 2250, we have to look at previous wicks. So there's like a pretty good range of resistance in this, what I'm going to make a box range again, right in here, from this wick high, which was 2436, to anything in here, really, anything in here. But we'll go off of that. So if this does break the 2250, that's why I'm saying I might be wanting to sell at 2250 if it decides to make it up there, is because you still have to now fight through all this resistance here, which is pretty much from 2280 to a high of 2440. Now, until you can close a candle and actually potentially get above some of this previous rejection, which is hard to see because there's so much chopping, we can't really say that we can continue up. One thing we can see is that we chopped here and we tried to flip the 2048 or 2050 as support. We failed. We tried to flip it as support. We failed. We tried to flip it as support. We failed. So to confirm a potential breakout of this area for me would be eventually, if price moves up to 2050, decides to get above it, rally, get rejected, say at 24, come back down and starts finding support on there, that's going to show us that this actually might be trying to rip to the upside further. It also could look like potentially, maybe a W pattern, depending on where it stops, that's confirming the W neckline and then taking off. So anyway, this is something I'm going to be just kind of like flipping back and forth from, checking out, seeing how price is doing, maybe taking a trade you know, somewhere around like 8, like 9 or 10 o'clock, depending on how price is reacting. And I just wanted to share that idea. So I have a few more, and I'll make some more videos. If you appreciate this, please hit the like button. If you like this idea, or if you have your own ideas, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Until next time, peace.